Hello there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop right here in San Diego, California. And today I want to show you something that's for your Glock 43. And believe it or not, it's actually a magazine extension that fits on your existing magazine that adds 4, that's right, count them, 4 additional rounds to give you a total capacity in the magazine of 10. And that's pretty exciting. And let's talk about the 43 real quick. Here is my 43 package. This is our little $35 holster with a big clip on it. So get it out of there. It is now has just the standard magazine in for demonstrations. I typically have an extension on this, but just for this demonstration, I wanted to show you how small it was. And you know, everybody who's got a 43 knows that really there's not a lot to hold on to. So here I've got 2 fingers on it. That third finger's got nowhere to go. The back side, let's see if I can put my hand up here like this. This is what I really want to demonstrate is the backside. I've got not a lot of purchase here for the bottom part of my hand, this part right here. So, you know, it's a great little carry gun. And if you were wearing an ankle holster, you probably wouldn't even want any type of extension because it will, you know, be easier to conceal. However, there's 2 downfalls. 1, 6-round capacity. Okay, hey, it's good for self-defense, you know, to be honest, but it's better than no rounds. But my biggest challenge with this short grip is that when you actually shoot this aggressively, as you shoot, your hand, no matter what you do, starts to roll off the bottom. And because it rolls off the bottom a little bit, it interferes with the grip. And because the grip becomes compromised, your accuracy suffers as well, especially for fast combat style shooting. Now, if we're just sitting there and we're adjusting and we're looking at the sight and we're, you know, taking our time and breathing and squeezing the trigger and doing all those things, that's a different style shooting than what we like to do here in our ranges. You know, we shoot at multiple targets as fast as possible, just like you would in a self-defense scenario. So what we find is that this gun in particular is great for the first couple shots, but as you shoot and go target to target, you do lose a little bit of grip. And because of that, your accuracy starts to suffer because that's really the foundation of your point shooting concept is the grip. If it's consistent, the shots will be consistent. As the grip starts to degrade, the shots start to spread around and not be quite as accurate as you want. But here's a solution. And first of all, I'm going to go ahead and show you my Glock 43. Okay, it's got our extended magazine release button on it with the red color to match up to the red safety. And this is in our pyramid trigger. Of course, the gun is unloaded. I'm going to leave the magazine in right now. I'm going to bring it back and lock it back. Look inside. We know the gun's unloaded. Pull it forward. There's the pyramid trigger in the cocked position with the red safety. And I get a little light back there for you. There you go. And here's the other side. And of course, I've got my tungsten guide rod in there, which really improves the recoil reduction, so the gun doesn't jump around as much. It's a small little gun. It's a soft shooter because of the polymer frame, but the tungsten guide rod really makes a huge difference. So that's my 43. Today, what I want to show you is how to customize this magazine with this +4. Now check this out. So here it is finished, and now look at the grip, okay? What they've done very effectively is giving you a little place for your pinky finger right there, so you don't slide down on it, and you've got a lot of purchase on the backside here, all the way down onto my hand. So this gun's not going anywhere. I can lock myself in, and I can shoot as fast as I want, and it's not going to slide around, which is the key to, like I said, combat accuracy. So how do we get here? It's a pretty interesting device, and it's really well engineered how they did this. And so let me go ahead and demonstrate so you can, you know, kind of get a walk along. We're going to use our MDT, which is the magazine disassembly tool, to take the original base plate off of the factory 6-round Glock 43 magazine. So there's our MDT. We sell a ton of these because it makes disassembling the magazine so much easier. I mean, really, it's simple. Watch, look at the little post there. Look at the hole in the bottom of the mag. You guys are all familiar with that, I'm sure. You basically put the post in the hole, depress it down, and now it's just like a can opener. So now I just go ahead and pop it. And usually the first time takes a little bit of effort, but this thing makes it so easy. So I just pop it down, and there it is, just like that. So once I break the seal, it's easy. Now I just keep my thumb on top here, make sure that spring doesn't go flying across the room and into my face or my wife's face. That wouldn't be nice. And now I'll just pull this guy off slowly. I don't need to be in a big hurry. and just thumb it off and make sure my thumb's in place to capture what is inside here, which is the insert plate and the actual spring itself. And there we go. So there's the base plate. Okay, that's the factory plastic. That's the insert plate. And you'll notice it's got a little nub on it here that goes into the hole. Boom, like so. So that's how they sit together. They marry up, and it goes on top of the magazine. But we're not going to do that today. What we're going to do is actually take this spring, and we're going to use it with the +4, which is right over here in the package. So here it is. So we're going to go ahead and pop it open for you. And the instructions are okay. It's interesting, they don't include an Allen wrench to go ahead and open this thing up. So, let me walk you through this a little bit. I think I'm doing it right, but bottom line is I was able to install it on this guy here. There's probably a couple ways to get through this, but let's go ahead and look at it real quick. What's really interesting is it's got the 2 screws here, so it's obviously a clamshell type situation. But inside, what I found fascinating is that what they did something totally different. Is they actually put a spring inside here and its own base plate, or its own insert plate, should I say. So you don't use the factory insert plate, you don't use the factory base plate, you use this as the total thing. You put your spring right on top of it, and watch this. This has a spring pressure. Basically now, so you kind of get the concept, is you've got your factory spring that rests on top of this spring. So it's like, wow, that's pretty smart. So all right, let's go ahead. Here's my Allen wrench. This is a 2.5 millimeter, and I'm going to get in here and just take these guys off. And again, I'm a little surprised they don't include a tool for you, but do remember that it's 2.5 millimeter seems to be the right size. And we'll unscrew both these. There's screw number 1 and screw number 2 coming off. Okay, so there's our screws. Now, this is where I was a little confused, and I'm looking at this thing, okay, what's the best way to take this apart? Because it's kind of stuck together. There's the spring that just came up. So this, all of a sudden the floor plate kind of just came up out of the hatch. I just hatched it a little bit. So in essence, I could put it together just like this, just by spreading these legs open and wedging my magazine down there, which is probably how I'm going to do it. You can take this thing totally apart, which, I did the first time. It wasn't quite as easy to put it back together as I thought it should be, although I did manage to do it. So this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my magazine and orientate it again. This is the front, because that's where my finger goes. So this faces that way, just like the bullet will. And I'm going to go ahead and put the spring right into that spot. And now I'm going to see if I can compress this thing, and then as I get down here, spread that open and get my magazine locked into place, and then just put those springs in there. So let's see if I can do it this way. And I did. And so that seems to be like it's going to work. So I just kind of push it down, and I've got pressure on my follower. The holes are lining up. Looks like it's going to work. So that was a lot easier than taking the whole thing apart. So I just spread it open and captured the magazine. There's a little lip down there into the top. I know I may not have shown you that well, but it's really not that hard. The first time I took the whole thing apart and I actually looked inside of it, and there was springs and all that stuff, and I was like, okay, well, that was, it was interesting. Then when I went to put it back together, it was kind of hard, kind of a puzzle. It just took me a couple of minutes to figure it out. So I figured this would be the easier way, and sure enough, it was. So now I'm going to go ahead and just screw these guys shut, and I'm going to take it just like you would do a wheel lug. I'm going to do a couple passes on one side, and then I'm going to come back here to the other side. And I'm not going to tighten one side down all the way because I don't want it to get off kilter. And so that's looking good so far. And here we come back to the other one. And back again. Look at it real quick. Looks like it's going together well. Looks like it's locked in there well. All right, good. So let me get this guy turned down here. And I don't think we need to put the Gorilla vise on them, but that looks like it's good. So there it is. I mean, that's pretty darn simple. Now, the proof is in the pudding. The original tube is 6 rounds. The plus is 4. So I should be able to get 10 rounds in here, right? So here's my red box ammo. When people refer to ammo as red box, it's typically going to be this American Eagle, which is made by Federal. It's a low-cost practice ammo, so a lot of people use it. It's available at Walmart. So we all really buy it. Anybody who's in the shooting business uses this at one point or another. There's my 10 rounds. And now I also will demonstrate to you that the Lula loader is a great device, and it even works on the Glock 43. I can do this by hand, of course, but I wanted to sell you a loader because it's such a valuable tool. Everybody in the business has one because it really saves your fingers a lot of stress. So there's 6. Okay, that was easy. No problem, right? There's 7. There's 8. There's 9. And there is going to be 10 right here. Just like that. It's tight. That 10th one is tight, and that loader really helps out. But there's 10. So the idea being that now you can have your Glock 43 with an extended grip and 10 rounds. And it's not a bad looking package. And I like the fact that they put that little lip there for your pinky finger so it doesn't slide down. So the last thing we have to do now is go to our range and test fire this puppy to make sure it works as advertised. Of course, the G43 is a concealed carry gun, right? And if you're looking for a +4 magazine extension, now you know it's available at GlockStore.com.